Excited to present some new releases today. The first feature is widely released, and the second feature we will have a QR code at the very end to sign up your team and brokerage for. But the two releases we've been working on this quarter is our A to Z design studio and the release of 3D tours for agents, right? And so, one of our most frequently request ask is for our Diva ads, our listing promotion ads, specifically the 3D tour. It's previously only been able to be run by team leaders and admins, right? And so if you are on a team where you want to promote your own listing as an agent, or you want your agents to go and promote their listing, it's been a very clunky process of them making a request, having you run the ad and so on and so forth. And so we have actually done the work to release this to agents specifically. So any agent who has access to stars, which is basically every agent, who's a user on our platform, will now be able to get to run divas on their own with their own credit card and so on and so forth, right? And so it streamlines the process. It puts the accountability on the agent to figure out which listings to promote. And, it's one of our most requested items. And we've done the hard work to enable that feature for everyone. Barry, do you want to talk about the philosophy behind the A to Z Design Studio?
Yes. So a lot of you that are watching right now, you've used the buyer presentation tool. And that buyer presentation tool, if you guys recall, it pulls in relevant market data for a buyer, right? So like homes that I've sold in an area that buyers I've represented in an area they're looking, local market data, things like that. And we wanted to create one so that you can go and create custom listing presentations. And as we were starting to work on it, we realized that if we were going to go through and for each example of when we're trying to present as agents information to our buyers and sellers, there's a lot of other presentations that we could be doing. There's a lot of PDFs that we send to our clients. And so the engineering team at Ylopo decided to create an entire design studio. And so this video that he's about to play is specifically showing how the design studio can create a listing presentation. Now, what I want you to pay attention to in this video is this is not just a static PDF. This is not Canva, okay? This is not just like a presentation tool. What makes this tool so unique is we are going to pull in live market data, your recent sales, the market data for your neighborhood, ad results that you've ran, the status of your database and how many buyers are looking for a home. We're pulling in live data. So this is not just a Canva presentation tool. You're literally, if you go in the night before and create this presentation and then go on the listing presentation the next day, you get to say to the seller, here is data about your market, the ads I'm running, and my database as of last night. And so it's this custom tailored vibe where you are presenting something that other agents, they haven't been able to wipe the dust off of theirs because theirs is 5-6 years old. Their headshot doesn't even look like them anymore. And you're coming in with hot off the press market data to impress your seller. G, do you want to play the video?
Yeah, I'll play the video. Yeah, so I'll say that we've spent a lot of time on our Ylopo tools in the last year. We released last year our buyer presentation, and we've had thousands of buyer presentations created on the platform, right? The A to Z Design Studio, we've kind of quietly released, for clients. We've already had hundreds of listing presentations that are being done on this platform, right? And you can expect a lot more in the A to Z Design Studio suite going forward. But our goal here is to weaponize your data, right? This is a custom marketing campaign or that you will be sharing with the seller, right? And it's going to weaponize your database. It's going to weaponize your ad strategy, all of that good stuff packed into one, right? And that's the philosophy behind everything we're doing, which is let's not just create brochureware, right? Let's create something that is custom tailored to the person that you're presenting to. So I'm going to showcase a video of the A to Z Design Studio, and then we're going to drill into the details of what this involves, right? And high level, all of your agents have access to the A to Z Design Studio right now today. in our tools page, right? So if you go to your website slash tools, right, you're going to see this option and all of our tools on that page. It's something that we're trying to create great awareness around because you have access to all these, no additive costs, extremely powerful tools that, I think if you build in your process, it can be pretty transformative. All right. So I'm going to stop the video, right? I know this is a drive-by. We're going to drill into the details of each of these screens. But high level, you can see this is a really in-depth report that you can create in literally like less than 5 minutes, right? And you have total control over what is the templates, what your agents are sharing, how to design this report, etc., right? And so it is extremely customized, but it is also pulling in all of the data from your systems, right? And this is already in the wild, and I want to play a video for you of how clients are using it today, right? And so, again, already hundreds of things being created, but we have already talked to a bunch of clients who are using this in real life, and it's having incredible results. So
seller presentation. So I actually went.
Okay, I'm gonna.
This is the seller presentation. So I actually went to their home and this photo was online. So I grabbed it and put it here so it feels more personalized to their property, which I think is, that stands out for sure. Makes it feel like it's made for them as opposed to just something generic necessarily that I'm sending out to everybody. It talks about, what their goals are, their timeline, what to kind of expect during the pre-listing, when they're listed, when they're under contract. Not every seller has sold before. Sometimes this is their first time. Definitely has a well-rounded presentation through Ylopo. I was able to pull in past seller reviews. Once again, it is very valuable. It gives them something to look at. It provides the social proof. It makes it really easy for me. It doesn't take time out of my day, especially if I'm running around and I just don't have time to custom design something for each and every seller that I'm talking to. This is just something that's really simple. If you connect with someone, you set the listing appointment, then maybe you're bringing this with you. But if you are being ghosted by a seller, this is a great thing that most people don't have anything like this. So I think it will set you apart. This is the
Awesome. Okay, so let's drill down into the details. And by the way, you can present this, you can lock in a template that you've built out, right? And all your agents will be using the same thing, right? So another great, powerful use case for this is, you are basically standardizing how you present in these meetings, right? And we've seen the power of that on the buyer side. And, the first thing everyone asked when we released our buyer presentation was, how do I do this for sellers, right? And that is the reason we spent so much time doing this. But it also led to a wholesale redesign of our design studio, right? So we built the backbone of something that's really powerful. And we're going to just keep adding reports into this, so you have flexibility around how you present yourself through the Ylopo platform. And again, you access this by going to tools, right? So Barry's domain is buyingva.com. He just did /tools, and that's where all of your agents are going to be able to access this feature. It's also linked to stars. So anytime you or your agents go to stars, there's a big button there that says tools. You can access it that way as well.
Yeah, and
So
before you go to the next section, I don't want to overlook this. I said it in the beginning when G was pulling up this presentation. We could have just created another tool, but the engineers at Ylopo really were forward thinking. And they said, instead of just continuing to create these one-off documents where we decide, here's the listing presentation, here's the buyer presentation, here's the listing flyer, let's create, like, I've used the word Canva, that this is not Canva but it is a presentation tool. The significant difference here is live data that you can incorporate in real time into your presentations. I cannot overstate the value of being able to pull in that data and have full control of customizing it in a matter of seconds. I mean, it really is a first in many ways, because lots of services can create presentations. Very rarely can you pull in live results from Facebook ads that you just ran the week before. And we're going to go over that a little bit. It really does set you apart, because when you're with a seller, for example, they are looking for an agent that is going to market their home successfully. And to be able to have a custom report just for them really does set you apart. You want to go to the next slide, G?
awesome. So Barry, take it away. Tell us what's in the report.
Yeah, so the first page that we're pulling in, this is the listing presentation. We're pulling in data from the Ylopo seller alert. And, this is two automated values, right? So one is a house canary value, the other is Adam. And, what I'm not going to say here is you should use this as your CMA. You should have a separate CMA. What you can do, though, is you can say, I decided to check what online evaluation platforms are saying about your home on the internet right now, right? And so now what you can do is, like, if I walked into a seller and I had a listing presentation, and let's say I thought the home was worth $675,000, right? I did my full CMA, I've got it pet, and I've got a seller alert page in my listing presentation. Mr. Smith, just so you know, the online evaluation platforms have you at a low end of 500 and a high end of 704. That's a big spread. What I'm about to show you are the things that I'm going to be able to do to set your home apart so that we get the high end of the evaluation. I'll be going over a CMA with you in a little bit as to why I think your home is worth what it's worth. But the key thing here is I want you to know that I've pulled the data about your home and what the internet is saying about its value. And so understanding that is going to help us find a buyer for your home and get you top dollar for the home. So again, what you guys are going to watch me do here is use real-time data that I pulled the night before in a matter of minutes to make sure that the seller knows, wow, Barry took the time to go in and get these automated values for me so I can get an idea of what the internet is saying about the value of my home. It's got some sizzle to it, and that's the point of this presentation. The next page is going to actually be examples of Facebook ads. So if you are a Ylopo customer, which you are if you have access to this tool, and you are running ads on the Ylopo platform, we're going to be pulling in examples of those ads so that we can say, Mr. Smith, I have a robust advertising strategy where I am consistently running ads for my seller clients, because my job is to get more eyeballs for your property, right? So then what's going to happen is they're going to see examples of Facebook ads with my Facebook profile at the top. setting myself apart as an expert marketer on the backbone of the Ylopo platform. So again, this is not just static material. These are live ads that we're pulling in to showcase my marketing prowess. You go to the next page. This is where, to me, it gets really, really exciting, because what it's pulling in is an example listing rocket. So if you've run or ran a listing rocket where you have advertised one of your listings in the times past, I am going to carefully walk through this page with the homeowner. The reason for that is if you were to zoom in, which I'm doing right now on my Zoom page on this report, you'll see in the top left, it says ongoing activity. 8,300 people viewed the ad. Of the 8,000 people that viewed the ad, 6,000 of them actually watched a part of the video. 326 of those people actually engaged and clicked through the ad, and then 7 people registered, right? Now, if you haven't ran a listing rocket, we're going to pull in example data for you. But what this does is it's showing we even made this report to look like a funnel, because a homeowner wants to know, not only is my agent responsive and experienced, do they have a plan? Do they have a process to get a buyer? When you show them, this is what I'm going to do. I am going to run an advertisement for your home, and we are going to pull in market data. And Mr. Smith, after I run the ad, I'm going to send you this report, because you're going to be able to use the design studio to pull these marketing reports at any time. And so this shows them that you are subtly different than your competition. Most of the agents in your market are going to say something general like, Mr. Smith, if you hire me, I'll run an ad on Facebook for you, right? That's what most of your competition says. You're not going to say that. You're going to say, Mr. Smith, here is the data from the ads that I run, and I'm going to show you the results as I run them in real time. If you walk away from a listing appointment and the seller the next day calls you and says, everyone kind of sounded the same, you failed. This is all about setting yourself apart. And so using these pages in this data of this listing presentation is a key part of showing that you are the right person to hire. All right, so let's go to the next page. This is still one of my favorite tools that we've made. And we've had a version of this over the years that's migrated and changed into what is currently the buyer heat map. And it's absolutely stunning. There's nowhere else on the internet that you can go online and search for how many buyers are actively looking for your home as a homeowner. You can't even get that on Zillow.com. And so the fact that you as an agent are walking into a listing presentation, this tool scans your CRM. It literally scans your CRM. It scans all of the IDX behavior on the Ylopo website and shows it up as a heat map and shows the homeowner how many buyers you have. So you used to have to create this separately and inject it in your listing presentation. It was a cumbersome process. And I used to tell my agents, do your CMA, bring your listing and presentation, and bring a heat map report. Now, with this listing presentation tool in the design studio, you're able to programmatically pull in that buyer heat map. And I thank you, Aaron. I agree with you. This whole thing, he said, thang. He said, this whole thing is so good. So the buyer, you're able to go to the homeowner and say, here's the script I use. Mr. Smith, I'm not telling you I'm going to be able to get you, in this report, it says 463 buyers. I'm not saying to you I'm going to get you 463 offers on your property. That would be ridiculous. What I am telling you, however, is I currently have 463 buyers shopping for a home very similar to yours on the internet. And if you give me the honor of listing your home for sale, I'm going to make my promise to you that all 463 people are going to know about your home. I'm going to email them. I'm going to call them. I'm going to talk to them. This is the value of hiring me as your listing agent versus someone else. I already have buyers looking for a home just like yours. So this is a very important document that really does highlight the value proposition you bring to the homeowner. All right, you can go to the next slide, G. Market trends. If you pull this the night before or 2 days before, you are walking into the appointment where you can now show them, is this a buyer's market? Do the buyers have all the power? Is this a seller's market? Do the sellers have all the power? And the way that we teach that is through the action index. That's on the right-hand side, right? So if the market action index is low, it's a buyer's market. If the market action index is high, it's a seller's market. Sellers have all the power, right? So when this report was pulled in November, it's like a year low, right? And so because the MAI is low, the buyers have control. And that's where I'm going to teach them, hey, buyers have a lot of listings to choose from in our market right now. Here's some things based on this data that we're going to do to set your home apart, right? We're going to offer closing cost assistance. We're going to offer, one rate buy downs through our mortgage. I have a special relationship with my mortgage partner. If they write an offer on your home and they use my mortgage partner, he's going to actually give them a free rate buy down, right? And I'm using these as examples, as unique selling propositions to the homeowner tied with live market data. This is why this is so important. If you show a homeowner this page and just expect them to be suddenly super impressed by the data, you're mistaken. What's impressive is an agent that pulls live market data and has an executable strategy associated with what's going on in the market. We are empowering you with clarity in a matter of seconds to set yourself apart with the seller. You can go to the next page, G.
And I just want to make a point here. Like, we vet the data that we use very closely, right? As an example, the house canary data that we shared earlier in our AVM, this is the data that appraisers and underwriters use, in their reporting, right? And so, all of this stuff is data that you would have to spend hundreds of dollars for independently as different products that we've merged together in this report, right? So,
That's right.
Want to make sure you have the best access to data that's out there in the marketplace.
Social proof is so important. Thank you for that, G. And we have, as you're creating this listing presentation, there is a tool that allows you to select, do you want to pull in reviews from Zillow? Do you want to pull in reviews from Google? Then what we do is we allow you to auto import those reviews into this presentation. And you can edit them. You can change them, right? So if you have one you don't like, you can delete it. You can add other ones in. Now, once you've done one of these, you can save it. So once you nail it and you're like, all right, this is perfect, you can save it as a template. And the next time you create a listing presentation off of the template, it's going to pull in new data, but it's going to know what you want and how you want to do it. And so one of the things that I would recommend is if you have a review where they reference the specific neighborhood or area that they sold the home, if your reviews don't mention that right now, you need to start asking your clients to be specific. Hey, can you say I sold your home in Virginia Beach, please? Right? Because then what you can do is you can pull in the reviews that reference neighborhoods and cities, and you can add it to this report, right? And you could also ask your agent or ask your client, hey, could you give me a custom review referencing a city? That way you can copy what they're sending you and you can update it in this report. And then what you get to do is you get to say to the homeowner, I just pulled in a recent batch of reviews. I'd like you to see what other people just like yourself thought about the experience that they had with me, right? A lot of agents, they're not updating these reports because it's not easy for them because they're not Ylopo customers and their reviews are from like 5 or 10 years ago, right? And so you're able to import those and update them, or you can do it manually. Thank you, Damien, for that clarification. Damien's one of our rock star engineers. He's responsible for all this cool stuff. This is something a lot of you don't know. We have a live blog where we are adding custom content to on the branded site. It's a buyer blog and it's a seller blog. And if you are sending a digital version of this report to a homeowner, they can click the blogs. If this is a printed document and you want to include this, the way that you would explain this page is, Mr. Smith, I come from a place of value. I love teaching our local community. you can go to my website and you can read on many topics regarding home buying and home selling that'll help inform you with the process. I'm here as a resource, but I want you to know that this is something that I'm doing. I'm an active educator in our community, teaching our market how to get the job done. So this is about framing you as a leader in the education space. It's meant to give the homeowner comfort that they have someone that knows what they're doing. And it's not because I just say I know what I'm doing. I have valuable content that I'm pushing on my website, and I want you to know that I'm going to be that valuable educational resource to you as well. So this is meant to show value and provide comfort to a homeowner depending on how you use it. You can go to the next page. And this is a big deal because you used to share this, and the way that we had security settings, it made it difficult to share links to these reports. And now you have the ability to create these reports, these presentations, and now share them to your respective platforms. If you notice, there's a Reddit option. Reddit is very important now with ChatGPT. And so the fact that you can create monthly marketing reports, you can create presentations on neighborhoods, pull in live market data, and post it to these respective social platforms, all with a click of a button, it is transformative for your business. It's a really big deal. The past sales on the right, so I'll go over the others in a moment, but the past sales on the right, we were strategic. We're going to pull in data from your local MLS. And we are going to pull a map view of all of the sales that you have had in that specific region so that you get to say to the homeowner, here's a quick overview of the homes that I've sold in your area, just so they can see that you have the experience. Now, you might say, well, Barry, I've only been licensed 8 months. I've only sold 5 homes, right? Well, what you do there is you can sell we versus me. You could say, my brokerage has sold this X amount of homes, right? Or you could say, I have 1 home every other month that I've sold in your market. Or if you've only had 1 home in that area and you don't want to include it, just delete that page, right? So you can completely customize this. And then the home sale timeline and the marketing plan, this is also completely customizable to your business. So you don't have to include that. The good thing about this is it gives you an overview of the process in a nice way to where you can do that. You can also upload your own custom pages as you see fit and really give the homeowner the peace of mind that you are the best professional to help them to sell their home.
Yeah, and I'm seeing a lot of questions about logging in and importing listing rockets and all of that stuff. If you email support@ylopo.com, we will figure out kind of any issues that you have, right? So just email support@ylopo.com and we'll drill in with you to make sure this is dialed in.
Some other additional pages, if you do have a cash offer program, almost every market in America has access to Zoodealio. If you're a Ylopo customer, you have Zoodealio, which is a cash offer program. We also wanted to give you a listing menu. So this is something that's not going to work in every market across the country, but giving people the opportunity to pick their commission rate and change the services that you offer based off of the commission rate they choose can be a compelling way to set yourself apart. And so, this is not meant to be prescriptive. So we're not telling you to use a listing menu, but I can't tell you how many Facebook groups for real estate agents I'm a part of that I'm both moderating and I'm enjoying connecting, where agents post and say, does anyone have a listing menu? And so we wanted to take the time to give you access to one so that if that is something you want to include in your local business, you can do that. And then, and then you see the branding. One of our realtors in residence, Chris Fairs, he chose that wooden background behind his name to represent his brand. Completely customizable, different logos and pictures, anything that he wants, he's able to include in that. And then these are just additional pages where you can talk about your track record, any achievements, sales performance, awards. Look at this as almost like a resume, something that you can go over. And we put boilerplate information on your goals, some questions that you can ask the homeowner when you're face to face, but I really want you to be thoughtful about this. This should be an outline for your meeting, right? And it's not something that a lot of us do. I think the more experienced we become, the less emphasis we put on listing presentations. And I really, as I was helping to build this, I really had to realize that I was missing an opportunity to teach and empower the homeowner with that live market data to where we could actually teach people what's going on today with my Facebook ads, with the local market trends, with sales that I've recently had on a map. So I really want you all to reconsider not bringing anything with you. The way that this has been developed, the first time you do it, maybe you're going to customize it a little bit more. So maybe budget 15 to 30 minutes. After that, it should only take you a couple minutes to create one of these. It's printer friendly. You can save it as a PDF. You can put it on your iPad. It's something that you should be using, and we're not charging you extra for this. There is a program that's not real estate specific that you can upload data to and create reports. It's like $400 or $500 a month. It is not cheap. And the fact that we're able to do this for you without charging you anything extra is a massive value add to your business.
Awesome, awesome. So, again, answering a lot of questions in chat here. If you have a question, just put it in chat or put it in the question section. And if it's specific to you, we will reach out and talk to you about it, right? So, this entire presentation, I think it's 15 minutes of talk track with your client, but it's so loaded with specificity, right? It's not just a generic brochure but it's customized to that particular client. And this would manually for you to compile probably take at least an hour or two, right? Just to get all of this data sorted. And we have it to you in a package that you can generate with just putting in an address once you create the template, right? So really proud of the work that our engineering team and product team put into this. And I'm excited for all of you guys to use it, right? And please share your wins with us, post in the YSC about how you're using it. And also, this is version 1, right? We just released this like less than 30 days ago, already hundreds being created. But if there are things that are missing, if there are things we can iterate on, if there is data that you don't see here that you want to see, email us, let us know. We're definitely going to be updating this over time, and we want to make this a core part of how you go about your business, right? You are investing a lot of money into Ylopo, and part of that is knowing that you have the metrics that you're proud to show your clients, right? And this is an easy, compact way to weaponize everything that you've done around your marketing. Awesome. So we're going to and there's, by the way, in our support center, a detailed walkthrough of all of this with videos of how you set all of this up for you. So just go to the Ylopo support information section, and you can get details on how to create all of this. And this is live for everyone, right? So if it's not working for you, there's a problem and we need to figure it out, right? So let us know if you have any problems with logging into this suite, right? So as a complement to the listing presentation, a big part of this is how you're actually going to do the marketing for the client, right? And we have really powerful advertising products around this for very little money, right? And I'll walk you through that in a second. But to date, this has been at the administrator level, right? And we know how cumbersome it is for you to run ads for all of your agents' listings. And frankly, if you're a team leader, you may not want to spend that money that really is accruing for your agent around marketing a particular home, right? Especially if you have a brokerage. And so ever since we launched DyVA, dynamic video ads, and our ads product for listings, the number one request is, how do I get agents to do this themselves? And how can they pay for it, right? And so we have done the infrastructure work to bring advertisements to all of your agents, right? So, first off, the goal of DyVA ads is to increase the exposure of your listing, get it sold faster. Let your seller know they partner with the best-in-class listing agent and give you a leg up in winning the listing presentation, right? And so if you, even if you just create one diva, right? Now that is going into the listing presentation, right? And so, I highly recommend you run at least one of these. I mean, I think the cost, which is $95, I'll talk about that in a second, for one diva, that includes advertising budget, right? Is a de minimis amount of money to pay to promote a specific listing, but to boost your listing presentation to add even more proof that you're going to do a great job marketing that home, right? So the way the 3D tours work is all you have to do is go to mission control. Your agents now have access to mission control, and they can enter an MLS number of a listing, or if we already have your agent associated with your account, we're going to automatically pull in all of your listings, right? All of that agent's listings. And so they're going to get a daily email or a weekly email from us as soon as a listing comes on the market. And all they have to do on that email is click launch Diva, right? And they will be able to run their own advertisements, right? So we're trying to make this as simple as possible for you in order to access this platform. So how do 3D Tour Divas work, right? First thing is you want to verify all the listings information. You have the ability to choose an objective. Do you want to maximize the amount of exposure for this listing, or do you want leads from this listing, right? These are different algorithms that Facebook and Instagram run. And so based on your objective, we're going to run a different algorithm to drive to the result, right? There's a bunch of other customization options in terms of music, etc., that you can choose. But and obviously all the agent details, etc. The minimum budget for a video is $95 because that includes a lot of media that we're going to actually use to run the advertisement. And we're going to tell you for your budget, you can obviously spend more, how many estimated views you're going to get for each video, right? So you have a sense of the KPIs we're going to go in with. And so what are we doing with 3D Divas, right? This is technology that is only enabled by the latest releases to generative AI, right? So imagine Sora, imagine Runway. We're using the same technology here to give you a leg up, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to take all of the images of a listing, right? So you don't have to shoot an expensive Matterport video or anything like that. We're going to just take the photos from your listing and we're going to transform that into a 3D tour for you, right? So from these listings of photos, here's what is rendered. And let me just play one more example and I'll talk to this more.
Welcome to 1625 Cuddy Sark Road. Experience the epitome of outdoor living with this expansive deck that seamlessly extends from the home. Perfect for hosting summer gatherings or enjoying quiet mornings, this space offers ample room for relaxation and entertainment with its elegant design and comfortable convenience. This spacious outdoor deck is perfect for entertaining.
So the reason I played these two videos is you can see we can generate an ad from this, but this is also a downloadable video that you can use in social posts, in even your MLS, right? That walks through the video or the home as if you had a high-end videographer go in and shoot the entire home, right? I mean, the cost of doing one of these videos in the pre-AI era was hundreds of dollars, right? And now, just by loading photos and choosing a listing, we do all that work for you, right? And you can get this as an advertisement format, but what you just saw here is we will actually take the MLS descriptions of the video and we will combine that with image recognition technology to understand each part of the photos that we shoot and stitch it together in a narration format, right? We used to have this feature with just photos. We've now included it in the 3D tour, right? And so, this is something that is, literally less than a minute for you to configure, and you're going to get these beautiful videos rendered out that you can use across many different platforms, right? And at the end of all of these videos is a live report that you can send to your clients that is going to be updated in real time, right? That shows them all of their marketing statistics and shows them the video that you've created, right? And so this is a constant reminder to the seller of the value proposition that you're bringing to the table, right? And we see this as an extremely popular feature that is, again, set it and forget it, where the seller is going to be updated on all of your marketing activity, right? And this is done for $95 per listing, right? I mean, of all of the marketing channels that you can use, this is what we believe to be by far the most cost effective. Any
And
commentary on this, Barry?
yeah, I mean, we've had so many questions. So if you see me furiously typing, it's just getting everybody the information that they are requesting. This document and the future ones that are coming, because we're currently working on redoing this seller marketing report, but you're still going to see this same theme. A lot of agents across the country whose markets have slowed down some, they're dealing and grappling with that moment where the seller is wondering, do I have the right agent? And this document was actually created during that time frame. What you see is this linear moment where we're saying, here's all the people that saw the ad, here's the one that watched the ad, here's the one that expressed interest, here's the one. And over the next 30 days, here's what will happen as I continue this ad. So what we're telling the seller is we have a plan to continue to get eyeballs on your property, right? And that was very intentional when we created this. We want the seller to know we have a plan, right? And so pulling this reporting and sending it to your seller every 3 weeks or so is a key component and a key strategy, because you're going to have leads that sometimes register. Now, if no one registers, it'll say zero there, or it won't say zero there. It just won't be there, right? But if someone registers, a number will show up. And if you really want to show, when you're sending this document to the seller, if you want to show that you really know what you're doing, what you do is you say, Mr. Smith, 2 people registered. I left a voicemail for one, the other one answered, and I talked to them. They're shopping for their daughter, and they're going to send your house to them. It's not necessarily that every time someone registers, they're going to buy the listing. Sometimes that'll happen. That communication flow that you have with the homeowner, where you're executing a marketing strategy and you're having real conversations, is insanely valuable to the homeowner. They're looking for that agent that is savvy, that is supportive, and is actively doing what's needed to get eyeballs on that property. So this DyVA tool, this 3D tour, and this reporting is a key marketing strategy. It's a no-brainer at $95.
Awesome. And, Canadian clients do have access to this, and you can run divas. We have, this is one of the more popular features as it relates to our Canadian clients, because we have all control of the data, right? So we're running the ad. We can showcase all the stats, right? In terms of our seller presentation, we are limited by the MLS, right? And so AVMs, as an example, we haven't really found a source in Canada that provides any sense of accurate AVMs. If you have one, email us, right? We've been searching for it, and closed data, same thing. We don't have that access to that via the MLS. And that's why we made all of this customizable to you, right? And so that's why, Listing Rocket and Divas in particular in your seller presentations for Canadian clients, I think is extremely powerful. And this is not just, something flashy that we have developed, right? That has, sizzle, but no steak, right? What we found is that when we run an ad in a video format, we get a 3x increase higher click-through rate on your ads, right? People like videos, and it stands out versus just a carousel ad with photos. And so running a DyVA ad versus the iterations of ads we've had in the past, which you can still do, right, is just going to be a lot more powerful. And that's why we've emphasized this with clients. The kicker to this is we get a 2x higher lead registration rate, right? So even if you were just interested in getting leads for your listing, right, which is a different algorithm, this 3D format outperforms 2D by far, right? And so, as far as I know, like we were the first to market with this product, right? And on the 3D tour side, as far as I know, there's only like maybe 2 or 3 other options out there in the entire real estate ecosystem that allows you to do what we're showing you here, right? And as being a part of our platform, you get access to this obviously at a much cheaper cost, at not just versus human labor, right? But even versus other people who are offering this product, right? And so, again, launching this for a listing takes very little effort, right? And you're going to get massive returns both in, showcasing to your seller how powerful this is, but also just in terms of your ad dollars being well spent. So for $95, including media, when you run a DyVA ad, what we typically see is that 4,000 people will see your ad. 1,500 of them will actually view this video. You get 300 clicks into the video, you get 5 leads, right? And so just on this one video, you're going to get leads and you're going to get exposure for all of these listings. And all of this data, again, is going to report or appear in your reporting. And so you have powerful social proof that you can share. So in terms of how you access this feature for your agents, at the end of this is still in pilot phase. We're rolling this out slowly. And so everyone on this webinar is going to have access to sign up for this feature and release it to all your agents, right? And as part of this, we have made major enhancements to our internal configurations, right? It used to be that you had to fill out a form when you add a new agent. It was quite a cumbersome process, and we recognize that. And so as part of this rebuild, we have created a user management section in Mission Control. And that's partly why we're not widely releasing this yet, because there are configuration steps that are necessary. Now, for most of your agents, we've already created accounts for them. We've already linked their listings. And so you'll be able to see this, for most of your agents already, right? But if you don't see an agent already configured in your system, you will be able to do all of this within Mission Control, right? So this is adding all of your agents. When you add a new agent, all you have to do is provide their contact information, their email address, and give us some linkage to the MLS so we can pull in their listings, right? Which is typically an agent ID, the same ID that your agents are using, when they log into the MLS. And then once you provide us your license information, which could be your unique member identification as it relates to the MLS, or just, add MLS IDs or license information, we're going to pull all of that for you too, right? So this feature is in the wild. We already have clients using it, and we're going to reach out to some of our larger teams because obviously the more agents you have, the more listings you're going to have. We're going to reach out to, many of you to get you enrolled into this automatically. But if you're on this webinar and you want to enable this feature for your agents, just scan this QR code and we will get you configured, right? And so this is early access only for the people that are on this webinar. We love to get this in your hands, beat it up, make sure it's working effectively for you, and work out any of the mechanics in terms of logging in and all of that stuff. And so just sign this up. And what's going to happen is we're going to enable this feature for you. And once you configure all of your agents, they're going to get a email as soon as a new listing comes in the market with their agent ID, right? And we're going to make it a clickable interface where it's like one button, click into Mission Control, launch a DyVA, put in their own credit card in, and they'll be running it end to end without the need for you to participate in the admin work.
Yeah, I'm really excited about this one, man. I got to tell you, because, even if you have a team of like 3 or 4 agents, to stop what you're doing or have an admin stop what they're doing, get their account information, run the ad, collect it, get reimbursed later when the Ylopo bill comes in, it was just kind of like I didn't really want to mess with it. We did because the value of the product was so high and we wanted to do a good service to our sellers. But now the fact that you guys are rolling out the ability for my agents to just run their own listing rocket, like I just know that the burden that my team administratively has had to carry, that's going to, with that being gone, my agents are just going to get more leads. They're going to get run more ads. Their sellers are going to be happier because the easier it is for something to be used, the more it'll be used. So I'm excited about all of these innovations, and just that one is going to be just such it's going to remove a little bit of the mental load of running these ads. So yeah, big one there, big behind the scenes change there for us. So thank you.
Yeah, 100%. And I see a lot of questions here around just mechanics of how to run this stuff. Again, support at ylopo.com. We will answer all those questions for you and make sure this is configured. This is not a feature that you automatically get, right? We want to make sure you've set all of this up properly, right? And so scan this QR code. We'll get you on the pilot program and make sure everything is configured correctly. And, reemphasize, there is an ad option here in terms of creating this into a video ad, and it's downloadable. So you have this content at your fingertips, right? The ad typically will be, I believe, a 30 to 60-second spot. So it's a condensed version, right? And, obviously you can use that in any of your other marketing collateral. Okay, well, geez. Exactly 1 hour. So thank you everyone for joining the webinar. Excited to get both of these features into your hands and leverage. And there's a lot more stuff coming, guys. We really focused in Q4 on tooling and to beef up your marketing without really spending any money. And the next release that we're going to talk to you about is how we get you more ROI, right? And I'll just tease it by saying that we are going farther and farther down the engagement stack, right? And so we want to turn your flat leads, meaning just a registration, into people who are having actual conversations with you, and put our money where our mouth is and deliver you actually engaged leads, right? And so we'll do another webinar in January to tell you about all the work that we've done there to weaponize our AI text and voice platform to generate you not only a higher quality lead, but a lead that actually has engaged with you, right? So we'll be talking about that after the new year.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. Anything that can get me more transactions, I'm all about. So grateful for the engineers and everybody's innovation. It's an exciting time to be a Ylopo customer for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everyone. Happy holidays. Thanks for attending today, and we will talk again soon.
Thanks, guys.